Good morning, Kitchissippi. It is Saturday, April the 7th. This is a video version of the 135th Kitchissippi Ward newsletter. I put the newsletter out about once a week or so by email. If you're not subscribed, there are a lot more details about the various issues that we'll cover in there. You can subscribe today at kitchissippiward.ca. Let's jump right in. First off, pop-up office hours. The boss of me, Lisa, has been scheduling me for several more of those over the coming weeks. My next pop-up office hours are going to be held on Thursday, April the 12th. I'll be at Little Joe Barry's, that's at 1303 Wellington Street West, from 2 until 5 p.m. That'll be followed on April the 19th when I'll be at the Bridgehead that is at Golden Avenue from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. And then on Thursday, April the 26th, I'm going to be at Hintonburger. Yes, that's at 1066 Wellington Street West. I'll be there from 5 until 8 p.m. for an evening pop-up. Hazardous waste depots, one more reminder, I have a item in the newsletter. There are hazardous waste depots for things that can't go into the landfill, like paint and chemicals, that will be held at Tunney's Pasture on May the 6th and on September the 16th. Note that I had the wrong date in the previous email for that. There's a lot more information about the hazardous waste depots at ottawa.ca. I have a survey that will be coming out, I'm hoping on May the 1st, for the candidates for MPP in Ottawa Centre. The province dictates a lot of what the city does. It funds us, it dictates to us, it puts legislative parameters around how we behave. It is important to us as residents of Kitchissippi that we know where our candidates stand on issues relating to the environment, city planning, and more. My draft survey is online. I'm asking for your help to make sure that I'm asking the right questions. There's a link to it in the newsletter. Do let me know what you are interested in hearing from a Kitchissippi perspective, and I will put that survey out to candidates. I'm hoping around May 1st with their answers to be published before the election. Concentrated street sweeping is underway in the ward. A couple of years ago, I did hear your concerns around the overnight street sweeping and the fact that the sweepers had to come back time and time again due to parked cars. The city has introduced limited concentrated street sweeping in Hintonburg and Wellington Village. Some of that is underway today. You'll see signs go up, much as in snow removal banning parking. They bring multiple pieces of equipment to the street and they get it done in one shot. It means they don't have to do overnight work in order to avoid parked cars. I have a map of where that's occurring. Take a look at the newsletter. 389-406 Roosevelt Avenue, that is the controversial 6-story building that is being proposed for roughly the corner of Richmond and Roosevelt. I consider it to be a traditional Main Street style building that is wholly inappropriate on a residential road. The Urban Design Review Panel recently took a look at that and has made a number of recommendations, including chopping the height down to 4 stories, and they are also questioning why this is being considered under traditional Main Street rules rather than the residential density 3 R3 rules that are in place. You can take a look at the comments that were made by the UDRP through the link that I provide in the newsletter. And the developer, Domicile, has also made a number of changes in response to the concerns that they have heard. It is still a 6-story building. It is still a traditional Main Street style building. I still consider it inappropriate. Visit the newsletter, visit the blog for more information on that item. At 190 Richmond Road, this is a little bit in the weeds, but there is, as I noted a few weeks ago, what they call an anomaly report that takes care of a lot of zoning issues in one big motion. That should be coming to Planning Committee soon, and one of the things that they'll be doing is adjusting the zoning for that 190 Richmond Road, that superstore site, to take into account that the townhomes are going to have a bit of a mezzanine in them. That wouldn't ordinarily be allowed by the zoning, but it doesn't really change the overall proposal. Now they have also caught the fact that the terraces for the towns on Byron and Kirkwood will be sitting on top of the parking garage, which will come out of the ground by about 1.2 meters. Again, that's a little bit offside the zoning. I don't consider that it's a major change, but I did want to give you a heads up that that is going to be part of the anomaly report that should be coming forward to the city's planning committee in the next few weeks. There's a link in the blog. You can request one of 50 new ring and post bike racks to go near a bus stop in the near future. The city is soliciting input on where they should put one of these 50 fancy new ring and post bike racks. There's a link in the blog. Go on there and put your location on the map today. The Ward Forum is coming up. This will be the last one of this term of council before things go tools down for the election. We've scheduled that from 6 until 8 p.m. on April the 30th. You'll hear updates from the community associations, from the BIAs, some of the groups who are working on various community building initiatives here in the ward. And our guest speaker is going to be John Manconi, who is the head of transportation at the city. So I anticipate that that will be well attended. There is a link with a little more information in the newsletter. The city is seeking your feedback if you've had an experience with the new backup beepers that were piloted on a lot of the snow clearing equipment that the city operates this winter. So they have been trying out a new backup beeper that eliminates the high-pitched chirp and replaces it with a different sound in an effort to be less disturbing to residents. Previously, the backup beepers, of course, you're familiar with, go beep, beep, beep. Now the backup beepers that they're trying are more of a whoosh sound. They're going to go I won't do that again, I promise. There's a link to a city survey on the effectiveness of that new gear online. We did go through the April the 18th Committee of Adjustment items. I won't delve into those, but just a reminder that on April the 18th, the C of A will be hearing applications for 18 and 20 Gould, 61 Spadina, 442 Mayfair, 115 Spencer, and they'll resume hearings on adjourned items related to Kirkwood and Carruthers. The Bike Ottawa group is hosting its spring annual general meeting. There's a link in the newsletter. It's going to be on April the 14th. One of the interesting things I'm looking forward to there is some research that I commissioned from Bike Ottawa to map a lot of Ottawa, determine how safe some of the routes are, and start making some suggestions about how we can improve our bike network as we move into a revision of the cycling master plan in the next term of council. Hope I'll see a lot of you at the Spring Bike AGM being held by Bike Ottawa. April 20th and 21st, I have a link in the newsletter. There is a textiles and electronics recycling depot that is being held by the Connaught Public School Council. They are doing fundraising for their schoolyard renewal. Take a look in the newsletter. They are hosting a depot on April the 21st, which I think is the most convenient one. That's the Saturday morning from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. They'll be accepting your waste electronics and textiles. One last note, Hampton Iona hosts its annual general meeting. That's the Hampton Iona Community Group on April the 11th. That's going to be held at 7 p.m. in the upstairs teaching room at the Superstore. Fisher T-ball and softball registration is underway. I understand the numbers are a little bit low, so I just wanted to highlight this one. There is a link in the newsletter to where you can get the registration forms for those. A ton of fun. That's the Fisher Park Recreation Council and softball and T-ball this summer. The Parkdale Food Center hosts its annual gala on May the 31st. Beautiful venue. They're going to be down at the Innovation Center at Bayview Yards. Events that are held there are absolutely spectacular. Link in the newsletter, of course, to where you can get tickets and more information. An interesting session that I want to highlight. Crime Prevention Ottawa is hosting a session from 8:30 until 11th on April the 23rd, taking a behind-the-scenes look at what happens when you make a report to the Ottawa Police Service. Sometimes it might seem as though you make a call and it's going into a black hole. In fact, it's going all over the place. They're acting on the information that you're doing. Get some insight on April the 23rd by visiting City Hall for that Crime Prevention Ottawa session. I am standing at the corner of Armstrong and Hamilton Avenue. This is where the mighty Hintonburg annual ball hockey tournaments will be held. This year the ball hockey tournament will be on April the 21st. That is a Hintonburg Community Association event. The rules, the regulation, and the opportunity to register your team are online. At City Hall this week, a relatively straightforward one. We will sit down at Planning Committee to take a look at some applications for Barrhaven and Rideau Rockcliffe. Importantly, we're also going to be contemplating or considering the Planning Department's 2017 work plan report and look ahead to 2018 work plan. They have a very ambitious work plan with a lot of items that are of interest to us in Kitchissippi. Well worth taking a look at that. They also report on various different statistics such as the number of applications they've received and what kind of a timely fashion they deal with those. Fascinating reading. The library board is going to meet on Tuesday. It's going to receive the library's annual report and semi-annual performance measurements. City Council, of course, meets on this Wednesday. I think the lead item that the press are looking for is the investigation by the meetings investigator into the Christmas Miracle funding announcement, tax announcement in the last budget round. As you'll see from the link that's in the newsletter, and I'll provide a bit of a spoiler, the answer is no wrongdoing. The Built Heritage, at the same City Council meeting, there are a number of interesting financial reports, various different annual reports, and I and Councillor McKenney are bringing a motion to ask City Council to ask the province for ongoing year-over-year funding for cycling infrastructure in the province. And finally, on Thursday, the Built Heritage Subcommittee is going to meet. The headline item there will be the demolition of Lester B. Pearson's former home, now serving as the Ugandan High Commission, or was serving as the Ugandan High Commission. I believe that the staff are recommending that that be demolished. Built Heritage will contemplate that on Thursday. And in the office, we have a pretty packed week. I'm going to be at Devonshire on Monday to do a Q&A. A number of students sent me Parkdale Food Centre postcards asking me questions and suggesting changes they'd like to see in the city. So I'm going in to do a Q&A with them. I'll be knocking on doors on Holland Avenue in order to make sure that they know about the bike lanes that will be installed as part of the Harmer Avenue pedestrian bridge demolition detour and replacement detour. And there's a number of planning files that are wending their way through the process that I'll be having meetings on. Tom and I look like we're going to get some updates on the Richmond Road cycling plans. Fiona and I are going to be touching base with the Ottawa Farmers Market as they look ahead to the coming season. And I'm looking forward to getting back into the Innovation Centre on Friday to chat with Robot Missions, an awesome little startup that has a number of interesting things going around the environment and robots. Love what they're doing. Kitchissippi, it has been a great week. It's been a nice short week. We have a full one coming up. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks for watching.